Albert AWOL, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 162 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor and Damon. What's up, guys?
Yeah. I have my son's laptop for this week, so I think I should be good.
You're not going to...
And I'm on the backup mic because mine decided to break, so we're just all in... We're in great shape this week.
We're just a mess.
It's been a busy week, though. I've also been up since 4 o'clock to get my son to swim practice. There was a lot of swimming this week. There's swimming tomorrow. There's tennis tomorrow. There's soccer tomorrow. I donated my hair. I mean, how's that? I donated my hair, too.
Damon, I saw you recently. I don't remember your hair being long. Was it like...
Didn't you see the picture of the donation? Like,
no, I didn't.
Oh, you can go look on Facebook. It's pretty.
Did you have
long.
It like up in something or something? I feel like I didn't see your hair.
I have it in braids
long.
a lot. Honestly, I'll have it in braids a lot. So if I had a hat on under braids, yeah, I mean, possible.
I think you might have had a hat on. No, maybe
I donated like 14, 15 inches, and it's still not that, like, it's still probably 5 inches. So yeah, I donated a lot, though.
Jeez.
I tried a new place this time, so we'll see.
I wish I had
spread my hair around. What?
I'd like to spread my hair around. I wish I had that much hair to donate. I my hair doesn't really grow like that anymore. I just
this is my second time. I usually do it for, one of the children charities. So
yeah. All right. Well, it's just weird because I saw you and I was like, how did he have that much hair? I don't remember him having hair like that. And did you just like start growing it out like beginning a pandemic, or do you just do this all the time?
I mean, I kind of do it. Like, I'm gonna try one more time, but I mean, it takes a while. It takes years. So it was probably pre-pandemic. But then I just kind of let it roll. But again, the problem is once it gets crazy long, like I gotta get braids or stuff put in it. It's tough otherwise.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's your report on Damon's hair.
That is the report.
I saw you posted on Facebook, so on the group. So, and So anyway, I actually I've been so busy lately. I kind of forgot that the Super Bowl is this weekend, and it just completely forgot.
I don't know if I'm even going to be. I mean, I'm going to watch it, but man, it's going to be a long day for me.
I didn't watch it last year because Brady was in it, and I'm just tired of him. And now I don't have to worry about him anymore. So I'm sure I've just made all of our New England fans mad, but I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Matt Stafford, win. Yeah. To be honest with you, I felt like he had it rough in Detroit. So
yeah, me too. I'm with you, David. Sorry, Trevor. I know you're not a sports guy, so
no, definitely not American sports to boot, right?
Well, no, I mean, it's not even that, because at least up here, a lot of the sports, like hockey and stuff, it's not Canadian or US, it's just hockey.
Just hockey.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking about, because I was actually supposed to be leaving today for my trip that I canceled. And I was like, that would have actually been really good to be in Disney World on Super Bowl Sunday.
You could have seen the parade. You could have seen the MVP parade, although... I think they might do to Disneyland this year. Yeah.
I didn't care about that. I cared about the fact that if everyone's watching Super Bowl, then that means that the park wouldn't be busy.
See, here I was thinking you'd find it cool for the MVP and Super Bowl to go to that parade. But again, I don't know if that's happening at Disneyland or Disney World, since the Super Bowl's in LA. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to Disneyland.
Yeah, it seems excessive to travel across the country just for that. It does feel excessive,
but who knows? I don't know. Because to my memory, I can't remember. I mean, because it's not the first time they've had it on the West Coast, and I don't remember them ever doing Disneyland. I thought it was always Disney World, but it doesn't really logistically make sense to have them fly all the way across the country for that. But I don't know. Who knows? But that's funny that that's where your mind went. It's like the fireworks. It's your fireworks strategy, right? Where the fireworks are going on to get all the rides in. Yeah,
I like Super Bowl because I can plan around it and use it to make sure that I get to enjoy myself at Disney World.
That's pretty funny. I like it. All right, should we do some listener questions or anything else random you guys want to talk about?
I mean, isn't our show pretty much all listener questions at this point? Well, that should be what our show is. Well, that should be our tagline.
As far as you're concerned, Damon, it is, because
exactly, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
I still can't. David, did you see the review we had where it was like, Tom and Trevor and occasional guest Damon?
Yeah. I mean,
I was like, what? What do you mean he's there every time? I mean, for the most part.
For the most part, yeah. Maybe they skip listener questions and they hate listener questions, so then they don't hear me at all.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. That could be.
Yeah. I mean, I really just blame the way Tom sets it up. He tries to like sneak in stuff I want to talk about at the end, and it just doesn't work out for anybody.
I try to put him right after the ad. I mean, like I put the video game thing like right after the ad this time. Well,
no, you didn't.
After the earnings thing. Which
is going to be huge. It's going to be like an hour. You guys will be talking about that.
No, not necessarily. There's just a couple interesting things in there. I don't think there's need to talk about it for long. So
I'm down to talk about Speedstorm before the earnings stuff. So
all right.
No, I mean, I'll talk about both of them. I just feel like there should be a little section now about Disney Plus. I don't know.
I mean,
there's so much. Oh my goodness, there's so much Disney Plus news out there. Like National Treasure getting a series, like that's big news to me. That movies are great.
But is Nick Cage going to be in it though?
He doesn't have to.
I don't. Yeah,
I feel like he has to be. I think he has to be.
I mean,
I think he's key to that franchise.
I mean, it would be good if he was, but I don't think he has to be.
I feel there's the potential there for like just that kind of storytelling. Like it's in the same vein as Indiana Jones or anything else. Like as long as the lead is strong, I don't think it has to be Nick Cage necessarily.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I mean, I not that I'm not going to watch it. I love the National Treasure movies. If I'm flipping around the channels and National Treasure's on, I'm always watching it. Right, like that's never.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I see that as a series being really a good idea. To be honest with you.
Yeah, just like treasure hunting, like over. I mean, I don't know if they're going to hunt for like one treasure a season or like.
I mean,
each episode is different. I don't know
how good like Outer Banks did and stuff like that, and you just need that like age range down from that.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will fill in that little bit of a gap.
Listen, if you want to put a Disney Plus segment on here, I am not against that. I'd be happy to talk Disney Plus. I mean,
I don't know. We'll have to see with the listeners. I feel like there's going to be some people that are going to be mad if we do that.
Maybe we should do a poll on that or something. But
no. So it's our podcast.
That's true.
Yeah. And there is such a thing as the skip button. You can skip 30 seconds at a time if you don't want to listen to something.
And to that point, like, I get not everybody wants to talk about everything, but it goes the other way. Not everyone wants to talk about parks. Not everyone wants to talk about DVC at any given moment. So, it's our podcast. If we want to talk about Disney Plus, I think that's fair.
I don't know, man. I look, they're going to make an animated Super Fudge. Like,
I saw that. Yeah.
That's pretty cool too. There's going to be there's a Beauty and the Beast prequel. Like, there's a lot of stuff coming.
Well, that got canceled though.
Did it?
Yeah, it got canceled seemingly because Josh Gad and what's his name are too busy. Like literally,
when did it get canceled? This was February 7th.
A couple days ago. Yeah,
man,
at the earnings call.
Yeah, that is a little disappointing.
It was like right after the earnings call, they said something about it, I think, and Josh Gad commented and basically was like, "We're just too busy and we can't make the schedule work." Like that
stinks. But there's definitely some other new stuff out there. Like there's going to be a new holiday heist adventure, the Naughty Nine, like movie. I'm about that. That's cool.
There was some Disney Plus stuff in the, I think they said 300 new 300 productions going on for Disney Plus.
Yeah, Goosebumps.
Oh yeah, Goosebumps.
Oh yeah, Goosebumps. Yeah. That'll be interesting.
Man, I love those choose your own adventure books. When I was a kid. Sorry, go ahead, Trevor.
Yeah, I was going to say too. Like I know it's already, it's coming out in March, but there's also Seeing Red, which for me that matters because it's very obviously Canadian. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'd love to talk about stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'll have to put a Disney Plus section in here, though, and then we can start talking about the stuff we want on Disney Plus. So, I mean, listen, I'm excited for the Marvel shows that are coming this year, too. I feel like there's been a little bit of a Marvel show gap, and I still haven't watched Boba Fett yet. Like, it's on my to-do list.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I'm a little Star Wars'd out right now.
I thought, Trevor, I'm going to tell you, I thought I was, too, but then Boba Fett's pretty good.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know. I just feel like it's been a lot.
and you know that usually I feel the same way, and I still enjoyed Boba Fett. So I would say that I think that if you watched it, like you start the first episode, you'll be like, No, I get it. Like, I get it.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I mean, yeah, I think, yeah. Honestly, maybe it's more that I've spent too much time looking at the Star Cruiser, which I think that's affected my perception too.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the Star Cruiser at all because I just after the non-mandatory dress up, I'm kind of out.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what I mean is like just looking at all the negative around it has made me less interested in like going all in on the Star Wars stuff right now.
You know, I know that they're going for that whole like Men in Black area where like people come in from different worlds. Like I get that's what they're going for, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted the full LARP experience, like everyone in outfits, man. Like that's what I wanted. That's what I would have paid for.
I'm right there with you. But yeah, why don't we get back to the actual listener questions?
We have listener questions?
We could go down another rabbit hole here.
We had good ones this week. We had
really good ones this week.
Yeah.
You were so excited about how good the questions were this week.
And
right?
isn't it funny that like there's no Dan questions? I mean, I'm just saying.
In fact, the star of this week is Allison, who gets three questions in the mix here.
Yeah. I mean, two good ones.
Two good ones.
We'll let the listeners decide, I guess.
It's really funny. And actually, the one wasn't even a question she asked. It was her comment on somebody else's. And I just used her comment as a question. So,
yes.
So Chris asked if it was your last trip ever to Disney, what would your list of must-do and memory makers be? Resort rides, experiences, etc.
Oh, gosh.
It's hard. I mean, I definitely want to do Club 33 at some point before, like that's on a bucket list. I definitely want to do that. I mean, listen, we could if we wanted to, so let's do it. But we should do that during the meetup. Why didn't I think about this? We should not for like, just us.
Well, you're not allowed to do it if I'm not there, so I'd have to be there. But I'll make that happen. If you make that happen, I can make. I'll be there.
All right, I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna get this done first. We're gonna do Club 33.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I will be, but just make sure I have enough time to make sure I can be there.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. We'll do some planning.
I don't know. I have no must dos. I mean, the only thing I would say is I'd get the memory maker package and get as many pictures as I can because I feel like no matter the pictures for me are the best part of Disney. Personally, there we go.
Yeah,
I mean, you're a big capture memories and pictures guy, though. Like,
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. I love pictures. I love videos. Anything like that. So that portion of it would be fine. I don't necessarily think that. I mean, if there's a ride, I mean, shoot, it would have been Ellen. Like all the rides that I would say that I was geeked about are all gone. So.
Yeah, I mean,
Leagues Under the Sea, like that was awesome.
Yeah. For me, like I'd probably, I mean, I've stayed at a lot of the resorts at this point. I think I'd maybe want to do like the Four Seasons or something like that. Not even like a Disney, resort, like stay like really, really nice. And then do like, I don't know. I would probably want to ride Big Thunder a lot because I love that ride. And, I think I'd want to do like a lot of the classic stuff, but I always do that stuff anyway. So it's like nothing, there's no like bucket list thing there that I wouldn't do anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I were there's nothing extra I would do. Maybe I would do that one. And I know tours aren't back right now, but they have that one tour that's like an 8-hour tour.
That would be cool. Yeah.
I would love to do that. And I never wanted to do it before because I didn't want to like waste a whole day doing a tour, but one of these days, maybe I'll do that. Yeah. So
you know what I would do? I just, as you were talking about that, I realized because I was like, I don't know if I could pick out any one thing. I would get a plaid.
Good call.
Yeah. Like that's what I would do is, have that last trip, plaid is escorting me around, doing the VIP thing. I would go all in on that.
Trevor, now I'm just imagining like Damon not coming to the meetup and us getting into Club 33 and breaking the rules and taking out our picture or like our phone and like taking like a selfie at Club 33.
I'd be so mad.
Damon.
I'd be so mad.
You would, Damon, you would find every way to tell us that it's Photoshopped, though, I'm sure.
No, that would go beyond me being mad about Photoshopping. I'd just be mad.
I don't think you're not allowed to take pictures, I think, in Club 33, right? That's a no-no. So we'd have to break the rules to do that.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense why you can't. I've seen video of Club 33, but again, that was like a particular vlog they got pre-approval to do so. So
so they got like press access or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they basically got a tour, and this was in Disneyland. Actually, they were given basically a time where they were allowed to go up the elevator there and do some limited filming, and that was it. So
I just realized if I do this though, that my wife is going to kill me. Not necessarily Damon. Am I? That's the only problem.
Well, we would team up to kill you, so that would be really bad for you.
Yeah, it would. All right. What were you going to say, Trevor? Were you going to say something?
No, all I was going to say is my wife actually, she told me to go because she knows that I really want to go, and I want her to come with me, but she's like, the problem is that we have nowhere to leave our son at the moment. So like, yeah, she would just tell me to go on my own.
All right. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Allison's first question, what festival should be added to Epcot? I don't know how we've not been asked this before. It's a great idea.
Steam or STEM, either one. Like, I'm all about that. That would be awesome.
Just trying to, I keep thinking of like the Stark Expo from like Iron Man, like where they're actually showing off like new technologies and stuff. That was like, like the World's Fair was back in the day. Like do something like that.
Yeah. Like Innovention, like I remember like Innoventions years ago, how interesting it was. But the problem was that Innoventions, the buildings got stale and outdated too fast. But doing something like that as a festival would be really cool, where people can just come and demo.
You hit it on the head, though. The thing is, the current festivals that they do, the only thing that really changes is like food.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, there's not a lot of change. I think what we'd be suggesting would be expensive.
Yeah, I mean, like they have like exhibits and stuff, but I mean, like I think they could get like, they could set up temporary exhibits for 3 months and it'd be worthwhile for them,
I mean, if you look at it, like, the artists and stuff they bring in, it's, it's basically the artists doing those exhibits and everything. It's not Disney. Yeah. So, I mean, if they could set something up where it's like, hey, come and bring some technology to show off, setting up demos, and they're just basically a platform to host that.
What about video games?
Yes. Yeah. I am all in on that.
Oh, and that's the thing, some big companies would like love the opportunity to I mean, Disney probably wouldn't even have to pay for it, right? I mean, like they could just get those people to come in, showcase their stuff, and it's advertising for them. They could probably charge if they wanted to.
The only thing I would not like is if they did a video game one and it was kind of like what happens now at a lot of the expos, is it like you get like Epic comes in and like it's like Fortnite everywhere, which is like, okay, we get it, Fortnite's big and all that. I hate when I would love it if it was more focused on indie instead of the big companies, because the big companies already get enough exposure as it is.
Disney would get the heavy hitters though, right? Like,
oh, I know they would, but I feel like there's a but maybe it's kind of the same thing as the like the artwork. It is, it does give people a chance to get exposure, and if they set it up accordingly, where there's a lot of really cool indie video game developers out there that a lot of people don't see, and unless you're deliberately looking for it, you would miss them. Yeah. It would be nice for them to have a place to show that kind of stuff off.
What if they did like as part of that, right? They did like a VR area where you could ride the old rides, like, kind of like, is it? Who there's a YouTube channel that has those, and I'm blanking on who it is.
Retroland or no, not Retro.
No. It's the same guy that did the Fast Pass thing. And why am I blanking on it?
Oh, Defunctland?
Yeah, Defunctland. He has like a full like VR thing of like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea with like the queue and everything.
It's in development, yeah. But
I thought it was done. I thought he had it out there now, but I've seen it. But I mean, I don't have a VR headset, so I can't do it. But
I'll have another look. Last time I checked, I didn't see anything. But yeah, I play around VR all the time. So,
I mean, that would be kind of cool. You're right though. Like I do kind of miss like the Innovations part of Epcot, right? Like I do feel like that piece is missing. There was always like that part that was like the technology of the future, right? And if you watch like the Imagineering story, and like because you don't remember like when or weren't there when Epcot first opened, it was like they had touchscreen computers there, which were not really a thing at the time, and like they were doing an interview with one of the Imagineers, and he's like, yeah, it's this is first time this technology's really been out here, and we hope that that it ends up in consumer hands in the next 15, 20 years, and lo and behold, everything we have is touchscreen now. So
what about an Imagineering festival?
Yeah,
so it's all in house.
Yeah, do it all in house. Like I would
just
love
get to show off things that they're trying to do. Yeah.
What about even showing off things that got scrapped? That would be so cool.
That would be very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not doing this, but check out what we were planning to do.
Yeah,
I'd go to that festival.
That would be an interesting way, actually, to like second pitch some things, right? Because there's a lot of
pitch
ideas.
and recoup.
Yeah, because there's a lot of ideas that they'll pitch and it dies, but then when you hear about it later, it's like, oh, that people kind of build hype around it, right? So
I could go on forever. I mean, Disney Animation Festival. Why don't we have like a cartoon festival?
I mean, you would think that'd be part of the arts festival, right? Like they could just put it in there, right?
But the arts is very like it's more specific to like artists.
Yeah, like how about this 80s cartoons festival? Dude, I wouldn't miss one of those. I wouldn't miss that.
Damon at the Thundercats booth.
Even if it was just Disney stuff, I'd be fine with it. It'd be Damon at the Gummy Bears booth.
I just imagine you swinging around Lionel's sword.
It was so funny because you guys were never there for Star Wars weekends, right?
No, I don't think I ever made it for a Star Wars weekend. No,
man, it was such a different experience. Like it was so cool. Like some of these things that like I know Star Wars weekend is just like why should there be? But man, there was something crazy about that parade. Like I feel like why is that not like I don't know why that's not there. I don't know. Like I mean, does like Boba Fett hang out and whatever the Black Spire, whatever that new place is, Galaxy's Edge, like does he hang out there?
I don't know if Boba Fett's one of the ones that walks around. You would think that they would do the cross promotion with the show though, like because they love doing that kind of stuff. But I mean, I know you could see Rey. I definitely ran into stormtroopers when I was there.
Yeah, but I feel like during those Star Wars weekends, dude, you saw everybody from Star Wars. Like, why is that not the case?
Kylo Ren's walking around, Chewbacca's walking around.
I'm talking about old school, though.
Yeah. No, I know.
Before the new movies, because they were doing those Star Wars festivals before the new movies. And I told you, I just booked inadvertently and happened to be at Hollywood Studios. I'm like, what is going on? And I see Boba Fett. I was like, whoa, wait a second. I got to see what this is about. And the parade was long.
Yeah. Wow.
It was long.
I mean, I think a lot of people would love to see Star Wars weekends come back, right? Like that. I think that would be. I know it's like why do it anymore because you have the whole land dedicated to it, but I feel like that just makes it better, right?
I agree. I just don't understand why we don't see all those characters if they have them, or do they get like were they rented in for Star Wars weekends? Like I just don't get it.
Maybe I don't know. What are you going to say, Trevor?
Yeah, to your point about the land is definitely one thing, but it's you're right. It starts to feel stale because it's just like a set piece, right? Like I think that's what you're saying, Damon, is that I know what you're talking about for certain trips that I've been on where it's like something's going on and like, people are like there's movement, there's hype, there's excitement.
I'll be honest with you. I'm watching the parade now because I had to go see it. Like there's Imperial Guards, like the red dude. Yeah. What are they? Like the Emperor Guards?
The elite guards. Guys. Yeah. But yeah,
there's all, dude. I'm watching this again. This is crazy. Like this. Why isn't this happening now? So you have Leia as a bounty. You have all the bounty hunters, all of them. Why don't I see these sand people? Like, bro, you see all these sand people.
I just pulled up a list of all the characters.
Snow troopers.
I feel like that probably got replaced with because there was a Frozen parade at one point, wasn't there?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, for like like the year after Frozen was super popular, they finally caught up in the parks, right? Like it was a full year after the movie had come out. And then because I was there for one of those, it was like Frozen Summer or something, right? Like it was,
I wonder if they decommissioned the Star Wars stuff for Frozen. It's
maybe.
But yeah, it's funny. You kind of went over to Hollywood Studios, like we were talking about Epcot festivals. But I think it's the interesting thing is, we think about Epcot being the place for festivals, but why, maybe the answer to that too is why is this not expanded a little further than that? Why is there not, things at each park going like seasonal things or like even us talking about like a video game thing.
There's Ewoks. Why are there no Ewoks? I'm down the rabbit hole, man. I'm done.
I know.
I'm done.
That's fine. Then I'll finish my thought. But you do like it doesn't have to be at Epcot is the thing, right? And yeah, it like there's a lot Disney could be doing, and I get why like right now it's hard, but if it it would go a long way for them to just bring back some of that hype and that excitement around, as Damon's sitting here reminiscing about the parade. It is, those are the things that stick in people's minds and make them.
I'll never forget that parade, man.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because it was just so out of the blue. Like, what's going on? Like, it was crazy.
And I feel like I get the feeling that for you, that's the same. Like for me, it's when we saw Paint the Night, which again was back in like 2014 or something like that. Again, it was a planned parade, but it was just so different from anything else that I'd seen up until that point. And it had that energy to it that it was like, if I could have, I would have come back and watched it every single night. Like Disney needs that kind of stuff every once in a while.
Yeah.
And they're missing that right now.
Knock off Mace Windu. Nice.
Is it a variant or?
No. It's just somebody playing him. But the Ewoks are the absolute best.
I was trying to cross Marvel and Star Wars there for a minute.
You were, yeah. I'm just saying, like, let me just think of this though from like the reason they do the festivals at Epcot is that Epcot, I think, had more of a lull in its attendance than some of the other parks, right? So they start doing the festivals to pump up attendance, right?
That's not the case anymore.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is like Hollywood Studios is probably at some point gonna. Right now, it's at least the second most attended park, but it's probably gonna start rivaling Magic Kingdom. Like it has been it was busier than Magic Kingdom when we were there last time. Both the times we were there, maybe it's just because it's a smaller park and there's not as many rides, but it was. The attendance has got to be up there for Hollywood Studios. So I'm just saying, like, I think if you're going to throw out another festival, I think you could do a food and wine kind of festival in Animal Kingdom and do some really cool stuff with
That'd
that.
Be cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could do some really cool stuff with the food and wine around Animal Kingdom. And that's a huge park. Like you could have the food booths all over that park and it would be very cool. So anyway, what were we going to say, Trevor?
I was just going to point out that I know you're saying Hollywood Studios is busy right now, but I feel like there's a lot of dead space at Hollywood Studios outside of Star Wars and Toy Story right now. Like when you look at the other areas, there's a lot of like even getting towards like over by Indiana Jones and stuff. Like I know there's the Indiana Jones show there, but there seems to be just like these big open areas, and there's like nothing there anymore. Because there used to be a lot of shows and stuff, but it feels like, yeah.
I feel like that one theater right now they're showing like a Mickey or the Mickey mini short in it, like the one that's across from Indiana Jones. Like they have not been able to figure out what to do with that theater for like 20 years. I feel like it just has kind of always had like some random thing in it,
Yeah, and even down towards like Rock and Roller Coaster, like that whole I guess there's supposed to be that whole street, and it kind of mimics what California Adventure is, but it doesn't. It feels very like Hollywood Studios is doing. Yeah, it feels they're doing some good stuff with it, and it's great that they got Star Wars Land and everything in there, but the rest of the park needs some love, I think. And
I disagree with that.
Yeah, maybe festivals are a way to do that. I don't know.
I feel like it's only a matter of time. And now that, we'll talk about the earnings piece in a few here, but now that, Disney's making money again, I feel like it's only a matter of time until we start seeing some announcements and some new stuff. And I tend to believe that they are going to build another attraction at Galaxy's Edge. I don't know what, but I just get the feeling they're going to,
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of
where though.
I mean, they have
behind.
some space. Yeah, they have some space behind, I think, that they can build. They might have to take out like a parking lot, but they can. There's definitely space for them to do it.
But can they still keep that illusion of the mountainy backdrops and all that stuff?
It's a good question, Damon. I don't know. I mean, I guess they could theoretically do it like they and
I don't think so, man. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, you think another the other Star Wars thing was the Star Cruiser. Like, I don't necessarily think we're getting another ride there.
Well, no, because like if you look at like Rise of the Resistance, which it's the majority of it is the queue line and everything that's like outside, and then you go into a big show building that you don't even see, right? So like you could theoretically still have those mountains and everything, and then just everything takes place in a show building. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I get that, but I guess after thinking about it, what I'm kind of saying is that I think that why would they stay there? Like, again, the Galactic Star Cruiser kind of gave us our big Star Wars thing, right? Instead of a ride. I don't know.
No, that's fair. You're saying, why would they do another Star Wars thing when they can do some other stuff? Yeah, I get it. Yeah. What were we going to say, Trevor?
Nothing.
Okay. I thought I heard you trying to jump in there. So we got off track a little bit, but I am interested to see, like, now that they're getting back to making money again and going to have money to build more stuff again, like what that's going to look like. I don't think that they're going to sit on their hands, especially with Universal building another park. I do think that they need to build more things.
Sounds so awesome, by the way.
I mean, there's not even, they haven't even announced what's in it yet though, right? I mean,
Super Nintendo World.
Well, that's what everyone, that's what everyone.
I mean, that's all we need.
Yeah, exactly. That's really all we need.
Damon and I will be there. We'll both have our Bowser hats on, and that'll be
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna splinter off another podcast.
You're just gonna be Epic Universe.
Epic Universe.
All right.
Trevor and Damon.
There you go.
And occasionally Tom. And then you could come for the listener questions and then leave.
Yeah.
I could be the Damon of the
Universal, absolutely.
and we can, or maybe we can have a Mario Kart tournament.
There you go.
Well, yeah, maybe. All right, hold on. There's a lot of good questions here, though.
Yeah. So let's keep going. We'll come back to this.
How many times have you been to Disney? Over 20, less than 40. I don't know the exact number.
So Dawn was asking because she said, we're headed to WDW next week, and had the survey come by email asking how many times, or asking if they were still coming. But then one of the questions was, how many times have you been to Disney? I mean, yeah,
I could figure it out.
I really don't know.
I could definitely figure it out, but I would say it's between 20. It's definitely more than 20, less than 40, but I don't know if I have the energy to figure it out exactly.
I'd say I'm probably in the teens, because I only went a couple times when I was a kid. Like we didn't really have the money to go a lot, right? So I think I went maybe 2 or 3 times when I was a kid. So most of my Disney experiences have come as an adult,
So for me, combined between East and West Coast, it's above 20, but I've only been to Disney World, I think, about 9 times. And that was like, I didn't actually go to the first time to Disney World until my honeymoon. And then we went a couple of times after that. And then there was a gap between 2006 and 2016 that we didn't go at all. So
I also want to mention here, Dawn said, can't wait to see the new pins. We did get the render of what the new pin's going to look like. And I think they look pretty awesome, honestly.
Should probably, plug the meetup a little bit. If you want one of these pins, you might want to come to the meetup. Just saying.
But we have to make sure that we keep our Patreon members happy here. So there is 2 different colors of pins.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So we have a gold pin, much like the golden birthday button.
It's nothing like the golden birthday button.
I'm just saying it's special. I'm just saying because it's golden, it's special. So that one is for the Patreon listeners, and then we have
until Tom makes it unspecial by giving it to somebody that's not a Patreon member. Tom, I have my eye on you.
What are you talking about? Why? Because I just give out pins sometimes, right?
You're not allowed to give out the gold pins at the meetup. I'm just saying. I'm just putting that out there.
That's fine.
I'll keep an eye on it, Damon. We'll be fine.
Well, no, we're going to Club 33, so now I have to go.
I mean, listen, like I said, I'll make it happen. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it done. I totally didn't even think about that, and I've been wanting to do that for a while. So.
Well, just remember, if I go, my wife will come. So, because we have built-in babysitters here now, so I'm good. We're both coming.
Yeah, I think that might have to change too. I think my wife might have to go if we're going to go to Club 33. So, all right.
You could drop off your kid on your way to Disney through my area, and then my kids could watch your kid. You'd be all set.
Well, my mom also lives an hour from the parks too, so there's also
there you go. You got that too.
Yeah, you're covered.
Yeah, we're covered. So, anyway, let's see, what do we got here?
Yeah, the new pin. So there's going to be a silver one that was for the meetup. That'll be exclusive for the meetup, and then whoever Tom likes, pretty much, I guess, seems like. And then there'll be a gold one that will be, maybe it'll be Patreon members and show guests.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, the Patreon, just based on the Discord, some of the Patreon members like the silver one better than the gold one. So I get that. So they can have a silver.
They can have whatever they want.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, no, we will share more pictures once they come out, and they are smaller this time around. So it's not.
They're not as heavy. Pretty much.
It's not as heavy. It's not 2 clasps this time. It's only 1. So it is a little smaller. I know that was Damon's feedback from the last one, so we made it smaller this time. But yeah, we're excited to get them. We should get them soon. So in the next couple of weeks here. So anyway, Don, it's a good question. I think it would be fun if they actually had like a tracker where, where you could log in and see how many times you've been, but because I'm sure Disney probably knows, right?
I don't know if they know that far back though.
Yeah, you're right. They probably haven't been keeping track. I mean, they probably do now, but I doubt that they have kept it since like the 80s,
Since good old River Country. All right. We got a lot to do here. So
all right.
What types of guest traditions do you think would catch fire? For example, a weekly Wednesday, 9 a.m. Surrey bike parade for guests staying at Boardwalk? Oh, that sounds just atrocious. Or 2 p.m. Villa Baked Cookie Exchange every third Tuesday? I mean, they all sound like good ideas, but then are you putting undue stress on the reservation system to make the Villa Baked Cookie Exchange? Because, I mean, obviously I'd have to do that, right? And am I only going the third Tuesday at, I don't know. I mean, Bake Off would be cool. I mean, I could get down with that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's too bad you can't do like a guest version of Star Wars Weekend. You can't really do that because you're only allowed to wear so much in the way of costumes, right? So,
what about a foot race? What about just every Monday foot race, and whoever wins gets, I don't know, free lightning lane, right? Kind of makes sense there. You get lightning lane. See,
I want to say like a pub trivia kind of thing.
That'd be fun.
Like I'm just thinking along the lines because, you would destroy me at a foot race or anything like that. So trivia is something I could at least compete in.
This just seems like something that would be overwhelmingly hard to pull off.
Yeah.
A lot of coordination that you'd have to do. Yeah.
Yeah. And coordination with a bunch of people that are uncoordinatable.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're on vacation.
Yeah. The problem I see with it is that, I see things like this pop up every once in a while. It's like, oh, you can go do wine tastings or whatever, like these kind of side events.
Yeah.
But or at least for me, because I have limited time at Disney, it's really hard to, block out an afternoon or something like this.
Tired. I don't have, we always wanted to do the cake thing.
Yeah.
I mean, when do you ever have time for that? I might now, because again, I'm going to take Disney in a different light right now because my kids are older. So maybe we would. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm so excited about Francisco's question. I think we just have to.
You're just dying to get to Francisco.
I really am. So Francisco,
we can get
Francisco
there.
says and assuming this is in his mind, right? So Disney is creating a new ride called the People Watcher. So that is not happening, but it sounds so awesome because I love people watching in general. It just takes you around the ride queues with one-sided mirrors. Around the ride queues and busy areas with one-sided mirrors. Would you ride it, and where would you build it? Well, F yes, I would ride it, right? Like there's no way that would be my favorite new ride that existed at Disney if this happened. And where would you build it? Like, listen, if we're going all in. It goes to all the parks. There's one at every single park. Like that's what I want. I might ride it all day. I might not ever need to ride another Disney ride again.
I mean, I feel like this kind of exists in the People Mover. That's why I ride the People Mover to People Watch while we're going around the People Mover.
Yeah, but this has one-sided mirrors.
Yeah,
so hold on. Let me take a step back. Not only does it need one-sided mirrors, but your family. It's like the Skyliner. Like you have your one family per car compartment.
Okay.
Right. So you're in there with your family, and there's soundproof booths. Right, so you can laugh and whatever. That's okay, right?
But wait, you can hear what's happening in the outside though, because
yeah. So so they can't hear you the other way. So that way, if somebody drops an ice cream and you're like, oh, right, like you're not upsetting anybody out there.
I love this idea. I like to People Watch. I feel like some of it though is. I feel like you need to be in the most chaotic spots, right? So like, I feel like you need to be in like the hub or at Magic Kingdom, or even just Magic Kingdom, like just the whole, all of Main Street is just chaos.
Yeah. Cause I don't think ride queues really does it. Cause ride queues, well, they're boring and
they're pretty organized. Yeah.
Yeah, and what are you really hearing there? Like, I want the dropped ice creams. Like, because look, Disney's going to give you another ice cream so we can all giggle. It's okay, right? Like, if you giggle, nobody's hurt, right? The ice cream drops, you giggle. Disney gives you another one, you keep it moving. So, yeah, I think it's got to be in all in the hub areas. I agree. I don't think I actually need ride queues.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of like when I was eating at Flame Tree Barbecue a couple vacations ago. No, but one of the birds that's aggressive over by Flame Tree Barbecue. Came and took all my food, which at the time was terrifying for my daughter, and it was, scared everybody in the area. But being an observer of that, I'd probably find it a little funny. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe it really just needs to go to all the food areas. Maybe that's really what it needs to do.
The food areas.
Yeah.
I do my wife and I always enjoy like when a kid gets pulled aside for like a talking to. And we're witnesses to that,
Wow, that's pretty brutal, but okay.
No, like not when they're like yelling at them.
It's no like, dropped ice cream or anything.
No.
No, so I get that because when we were kids, me and my sister would fight, and my parents would separate us and like, smarten up or, we're going back to the hotel. Yeah, it's kind of the conversation, right?
Well, I also think too, back when I was a kid, like one of the trips I do remember, my sister was like, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9. And she was walking across the Tomorrowland Bridge with a cookie in her hand, and a bird swooped down and just literally grabbed the cookie out of her hand and flew away. Now she cried, but to me, that's hilarious. Like, you're just walking around with a cookie and a bird just grabs it and flies away.
Did she get another cookie or no?
I think so. Yeah. If I remember correctly, yes. But like, that's an amazing thing to laugh at. So, man, there's a lot of that great stuff. I've seen kids before. I've seen the dropped ice cream, Damon, and I saw a parent going, there's no crying at Disney. Like stop crying. There's no crying at Disney. Like, and or you always hear like the how much I paid for this day, and you're not doing anything.
Ooh,
or on your phone
people,
all day.
It would still have to get like around the spots where people get shot with water, like the camel.
Oh yeah. That area. That's always good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that, the funny thing is you don't even need a ride for that because you can just go sit on one of the benches over
That's
by
true.
like the tiki and just watch. Yeah.
Well, they used to have, you never really got wet from it though. I was just thinking they had like the effects on the, on Big Thunder where you could set off like kind of like water explosion-y kind of things, but it didn't get anybody wet. It just was kind of like, I'm just trying to think of other ones. There's so many fun things that you could really watch there. I mean, would you want to watch people like on the Haunted Mansion ride? Like, because I feel like every time I see an on-ride photo from Haunted Mansion, people always have really funny faces on.
Or they're just bored out of their tree because it's like in the wrong spot in the ride. That's
true. It is a weird spot, and also
it's just down that hallway with like nothing going on. So
yeah, and why is there even an on-ride photo on there? I have no idea, but whatever. Where else can we think of? Oh man.
All right, I think that's it.
Yeah.
You got nothing else there?
Obviously, basically anywhere where there's just lots of people moving through the area, like just having a place where you could go and sit and just, watch people.
Club McCool.
I guess, I guess maybe the thing is whatever this is, like, I feel like it needs to be up a level from, like, it has to be above street level.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you don't get, like, if it's just like right at street level, you're just seeing anyone that's immediately in front of you, but you can kind of look over the crowd, and that's why
you want to see how the play comes to fruition, right? Like you want to see the whole thing happen from start to finish.
Yeah, that's kind of how things go down on the People Mover, right?
That's what I'm saying. You
see stuff off in the distance, like, oh, what's going on over there, right?
Yeah,
People Mover Plus.
Yeah.
I was reading about another one of those fights at Disney, and I'm not going to talk about it here, but
please don't. We want them just to go away.
I know, but it was kind of a funny one, and it was people from New Jersey, and it involved falling in bushes, and there was a lot of funny stuff to it. Go find it yourself. But yeah, like that kind of stuff will be funny to people watch too. But you're right. I want people to stop fighting in the parks. Like, at least this was Disney Springs and not in the parks, but. I think you expect a certain amount of debauchery at 1 o'clock in the morning near a bar at Disney Springs, I guess.
No, it's Disney. There should be none.
I expect people to be on their best behavior at Disney. Like that
I would hope so.
Shouldn't matter.
What if Disney Springs was only for Disney guests?
That'd be crazy.
Wow.
I mean, you get a lot of locals going there, though. So
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So,
and AP holders. You'd have to be an AP.
Okay, you'd have to be AP.
Yeah, I'll give you AP holder. Yep.
Okay.
I'll give you AP holder.
That's different.
Bring back old Pleasure Island and actually not Pleasure Island, just the Adventurers Club. I just want the Adventurers.
Yeah, there you go. That's much better.
That's what people want. So.
All right, new dining experiences from Allison. You've been hired to design a new dining experience. What unique experience would you create? Center of the earth, and it's super hot. And they just don't have air conditioning. And you sweat when you eat your food.
Why would you want to do that?
And it's all over grills. The backyard grill, just a bunch of grills.
What are you talking about? That's so weird.
The center of the earth. That would be great.
Well, they have the Journey to the Center of the Earth ride in Tokyo.
Yeah, and this is just a restaurant where it's just hot.
Damon just wants it to be really warm in there. Like, why would you want it to be? I don't want anything to be warm.
It's the experience.
Volcano.
It's inside of a volcano, man. Moana dining experience in the volcano.
Actually, thinking about in the Incredibles, the scene where they're having where he's having dinner and there's the wall of lava behind him.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about.
That would be cool. Yeah.
So I'm trying.
Or backyard barbecue, where it's just a whole bunch of barbecues in there. Everyone, they come to your table with a rolling barbecue, a rolling Weber grill, right?
And they just grill it right there.
And they just grill right for you right there.
Oh, I thought you were saying like you had to grill your own food.
No, they grill for you. It's like hibachi grill, but not hibachi. It's with grill.
I feel like I want more, I want a Disney themed, and I haven't been here, right? So I've been to a Rainforest Cafe before, but I haven't been to what's that other one, the dinosaur
T-Rex.
one, T-Rex. Yeah. I would love some sort of Disney themed version of that, not with dinosaurs, obviously, but like.
What about like a cowfish, but like Disney themed?
What cowfish? What are you talking about?
But like, so you know how cowfish has like all the art and stuff in it?
No, I'm not familiar with cowfish. I don't know what that.
It's literally right around the corner from you.
Oh, I know it is. I just have never been there.
All right, well, you go there, and then a Disney version of that.
Yeah, they actually have a location at Universal. I think there's like one here in Charlotte, and then one in Universal. Oddly enough, I don't know, man. I'm just thinking like something fun like that. It just because I kind of enjoy Rainforest Cafe for what it is. I haven't been to one in a long time, but I like the whole animatronics.
What about Disney Dave and Buster's?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I like it. Is that really a dining experience, though?
Yeah, why not?
You're
eating and you're experiencing stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
Seems to fit.
Seems to kind of fit together.
Okay, here I got one for you. Okay,
All right.
So I'm putting a link in chat. This is actually a cafe. About
I don't go to .ca website. Sorry.
oh, come on. So this cafe, this is really cool actually, because it actually looks like the like Take On Me, the music video. Like it looks pencil sketched, right? And the whole cafe looks like that. So I think maybe so to take that to Disney, that sketchbook, like artist cafe, like not like just here's artwork, but like you look like you're in a sketchbook. I think that would be really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I like it. All right.
But I can already go there for, I have that nearby, but yeah, we need a Disney version.
Exactly. We need a Disney version. So, all right. Should we go ahead and do our ad and then we'll get on to some other stuff?
Yeah.
Our sponsor this week is DVC Resale Market. DVC Resale Market, a World of DVC company, is the leader in the DVC resale industry with 13 former Disney Vacation Club guides and 3 former Disney Vacation Club quality assurance managers. If you're thinking of buying DVC, browse the largest selection of DVC resale listings anywhere with DVC experts on hand 7 days a week to answer your questions. If you're thinking of selling, turn to the friendly professionals at DVC Resale Market, where over 98% of listings sell within 30 days. In 2020, DVC Resale Market helped over 3,600 families join or add on to their memberships. Go to dvcresalemarket.com or call 1-844-DVC-PROS. That's 1-844-382-7767. And when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you. All right. So there was an earnings call just a few days ago here. There were some interesting things in there, I thought. So I tried to pull out a couple.
Yeah, Tom has like 8,000 things in here, by the way, everybody.
I mean, I don't know if it's 8,000, but and I don't even know what you guys find interesting in this, but
Genie Plus stuff is interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What about the metaverse that mentioned in there? I know, right?
I just don't like that there's so much buzz around the whole metaverse thing. I like it. I get the concept, but it feels like everyone's trying to do their own thing, and that's where it's going to fail.
Unless there's holograms, I don't care.
Yeah.
What was I watching when I was like, oh yeah, Damon, did you watch the opening ceremony of the Olympics? Because
were there holograms?
I thought there was. I don't know if that's what they were doing or not, but it looked like a hologram. They at one point they had like a thing that looks like a block of ice. It looked like a block of ice, and it was like they were like carving stuff into it, but it didn't look like it was projecting onto anything. It was like clear. It was kind of cool. I don't know. Maybe there was something that it was projecting onto, but I meant to message Damon like hologram.
I don't see. There's a virtual relay though. Hologram of IOC's hands over torch in virtual relay. No, I don't know.
I mean, I would just say like maybe like the opening ceremony ice block or something like that, because like that's what they did. So, but anyway,
Carve Winter Olympics host cities. I'm looking. There were lasers, an LED screen, digital blocks of ice. No, dude, not holograms. It was just projections on blocks of ice. Sorry,
it just looked clear. And it wasn't a real block of ice that was there. So I don't.
Said by carving host cities on a digitally projected block of ice. Yeah, it's still not a hologram, man.
Kind of a digital projected block of ice. It's kind of a hologram.
They didn't use the keyword.
Yeah, it's not a hologram, man.
So they should have called it a hologram, but because
no, I don't think it is a hologram because you're projecting on a block of ice. That's still 2-dimensional, man.
But I don't think it was an actual block of ice, though. I don't know. Anyway, so they mentioned basically the parks had their best quarter ever, which is kind of crazy. They're still having problems with the international parks being, some of them are closed and everything. I know, obviously they raise prices on things. So, and they have Genie Plus and Lightning Lane. So that kind of partly, makes them more profitable, of course. Right. But I did find it interesting. They were talking about how the international audience hasn't, rebounded at all, which makes sense, for you, Trevor, because you haven't been able to come back. But I was surprised.
Literally, I was supposed to go there today, so yeah, prime example.
But I didn't realize that it was 18 to 22% of Disney World guests came from outside the U.S. I was like, wow, that's more than I thought, honestly.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of us, Tom.
I just
more than 5.
More than I thought. That's all I'm saying. But and then some of the stuff they were talking about capacity that, I think a lot of us probably assume that they were at 100% capacity at this point, but they are out here saying, no, we're not at 100% capacity. Yeah.
I didn't assume that at all. Actually, I thought it, I can see where, they're trying to scale up, and every time people complain it's too busy and that the park looks like it's at capacity, I see that as a symptom of people are coming back too fast and they're not ramping up fast enough to accommodate for it.
And that's kind of what they say in here, right?
Yeah.
So they say, so the issue or the question of capacity of parks is a complex one. We've got really strong domestic demand, but in terms of sort of the self-management capacity, one of the last things to come back for us in the post-COVID world, what we hope is in a post-COVID world, is actually live entertainment, because much of that live entertainment is close proximity, and we're self-regulating that. That makes sense. I mean, that's what we've been saying. Like, a lot of people are like, why isn't this back? Why isn't that back? And that's why. I mean, that's the reason why. And they also said here, though, too, we're self-managing that because we don't want our guests to feel an excessive level of density. And the place that you get that is parades and fireworks show and things like that. And that's everyone here that's ever watched a parade or watched a fireworks show knows that you are packed together like sardines when you go and do those things, right? So I understand why a lot of people were looking at this like, and listen, the expense part of it was part of it, right? Of course they wanted to cut some expenses right now, but they're bringing this stuff back. It's not like it was gone forever. They're bringing it back now. And a lot of that, as they're saying here, was because they didn't want to pack people in together. And I think that makes sense, Yeah.
As much as people may want to ignore that, Disney has their own comfort level, and people don't seem to want to acknowledge that the business has to be okay with operating at a certain level, and they don't need to ask you for permission.
Exactly. There's that too. And trust me, Disney wants to be at 100% capacity. They want to let as many people in as possible, right? I mean, that's what they want. But they also said, 85% of their cast members said yes immediately to when they asked them back. But then they're saying that hospitality has been difficult. So that while 90% of hotels at Disney World are open, we've got all of our hotels at Disneyland open, but they're short on short order cooks. So that's a big problem. And that's part of why not all the restaurants are open, and why there's, limits to things, so part of the reason they're limiting capacity is also because they've got a shortage of short order cooks. And that makes it difficult. You don't want to bring too many people into the park and not be able to feed them, right? Like that's a problem. So, that's part of why, things are the way they are right now, is they're still trying to really ramp up. And I saw that they're offering huge bonuses to new employees. So, that's a big thing. So, but also, they talked here too about, let's see, what else did they have in here that was interesting?
We already touched on the metaverse and technology stuff. I mean, it's, the way that I'm reading it is, it honestly is just the continuation of what we've seen from Imagineering and all the patents and everything they've had. Is they eventually want to get to a point where there's, the whole idea of a metaverse is a single cohesive universe that spans across all, a bunch of different platforms, right? Yeah. And that's what Disney's been driving towards for years. So I see it going that way. But again, the whole metaverse term, like I said, the problem I see is that would imply that everybody's working together on it, and you keep seeing everybody starting their own things and trying to claim that it's the best when, they all just have their own little walled gardens, which is, defeating the purpose.
Well, and I feel like, the question that got asked, they asked them about the metaverse, and they were like, you want to call it the metaverse, you want to call it the, the blending of the physical and digital experiences, which I think, and then I'm reading a quote here, which I think Disney should excel at for all the reasons in the opening. We realize that it's going to be less of a passive type experience where you just have playback, whether it's a sporting event or whether it's an entertainment offering, and more of an interactive, lean forward, actively engaged type of experience. So they're saying, the future for them is, getting people off of your phones and getting people interacting with the things that you're doing instead of just sitting on a ride and going through it. You're going to be interacting and actively engaged in it. So that's a lot of what they're talking about here. And they mentioned that they're really focused on. Oh, by the way, the question that led to this, and I didn't put this in here. Somebody said, you guys do a lot of things great. You run the parks really well. You do, Disney Plus is great and all that. But one of the places that you seem to struggle is software development and technology development. And I just had to laugh at somebody calling them out on that.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you outsource it.
And then they also just didn't even answer the question. They just started talking about, other stuff. So, but yeah, so I thought there's some interesting things in here. They also mentioned for Genie Plus that 50% of people signed up for it during the holidays, which is an interesting thing. So, although they said, so it was a third, and they said this in their last earnings, it was like 33% of people purchased it. I think that's probably around the level they want it to be at, because they we don't want too many people opting into it, because then ends up being a bad experience. But then obviously that number rose to 50% during the holidays as more people came to the parks and the parks got a little bit busier, more people bought it, which makes sense.
So I think we should really point that out, because, before Genie Plus came in, there was I saw a whole bunch of conjecture about the reasoning was, well, if everybody, everyone's just going to pay for this, so what's the point, right? Like it's just Disney grabbing more money. And this is saying the opposite of that is, not everybody's getting it. And that's why it's working. That's why it is something that people want, that can justify paying for it. But also why the vast majority of people are just going to ignore it and use standby line, which seems to have gotten better because of it. As much as people want to balk at, Disney charging for something, just seems like nickel and diming. It's actually made the experience better for everybody. And not everyone wants to acknowledge that.
Well, I mean, I've been saying that since the beginning, right? Especially after we watched that Defunct Land thing, right? Like if you watch that, you understand that the only way that they can fix this is have less people use it, right? Like that was the only way. It was a huge monster, and like there was no way for them to fix it unless they get rid of it altogether or they make less people use it. And how do you make less people use it? You charge for it, because then not everyone's going to pay for it. So, and I mean, this is what's bearing out, right? I mean, it's only a third of people of the guests that are coming to the park are paying for it. So, those are, you're going from 100% of guests being able to cut the line to 33% being able to cut the line. Like that is a huge difference, and a huge amount of people that are now not cutting the line and are either waiting in standby or doing other things. So I've said this from the beginning. Like I felt like I understand this change from the headline point of view, is like Disney charging for a thing that was free before, right? That's not a great headline, right? Like that's a thing that people get mad about. I get it. But like, if you dig deep into this, I think besides it bringing them in, I think the estimate is that's going to bring in like $300 million for them this year. That's sure part of it. Of course, incremental revenue, that's great for them. That's money they want to bring in. But it's also, they just needed less people using the system. Like they just needed that. So again, I encourage everybody, if you have a spare, however long that was, what was it, like an hour and a half that video was, go watch the Defunct Land video, because that thing is great and it explains a lot of this. But I think that's, I think part of this change was to make the guest experience better for everybody. So like, you don't have to buy it if you don't want to. And if you don't buy it, then you can still ride a bunch of rides if you want to. Like, you just wait and stand by,
To your point about the revenue as well, for, this is where the double-edged sword comes in that people don't always want to admit, is that, we always talk about Disney. Oh, Disney should have these, top-notch experiences, and Disney should, it should be better than most. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, if something like Genie Plus is allowing them to, do new experiences, because the thing people like to say is, oh, well, they take that money and they pocket it, and, they're paying execs. And it's like, yeah, I know that's part of it. And that's where you want to stop. But if they weren't making the kind of money that they're making, you wouldn't have Star Wars line. You wouldn't have Toy Story line. You wouldn't have, all the new stuff that we keep talking about. Like, so it's like, but So which way do you want it? Do you want it to be a nice, cheap, free vacation, but nothing changes there? And I guess if you're fine with that, if Disney could just stay the way it was 20 years ago, are you okay with that? And when I mean stay the way it was 20 years ago, I mean, like nothing gets updated, let's go back to they're still using paper fast passes kind of concept. Or would you rather that, they do charge for things, but that means that it's something, they bring that back into development and enhancing the parks, because you can't have it both ways.
I agree. And I also look at it though too, Trevor. I mean, everyone loves the idea of the prices. I always see that thing of somebody posts like something from 30 years ago when the price was like so much cheaper. And they're like, can you imagine if the parks were like that now? And it's like, no, I can't, because that would be terrible. Like, as great as it sounds to spend less money to go to the parks, if you lower prices, more people will come. So you get the people that are complain about the crowds and also complain about the prices. And it's like, you can have it one way or the other. And the part that you never see people ask is, for that price, what were you getting? You're not getting what we have now. Yeah, of
for
course.
that price. And again, I know that people say, things like Haunted Mansion haven't changed. That's actually incorrect, because there has been updates to, they have put money into updating old rides and refurbishment and all that. Again, so I speak from experience. We had there's a local theme park, or not a theme park. It was an amusement park that years ago it was sponsored by Hanna-Barbera. So they had a bunch of Flintstone stuff in there. There was like it was great. But then the Hanna-Barbera pulled the funding, because of they got sold to WB and all that. And the park, everything was kind of left the way that it was. Like they changed it so it wasn't very clearly the Hanna-Barbera characters, but you could see where they just left things in place. And so keep in mind, I went there, the last time I went there was as a teenager, and then I went back there again with my son, and I saw I saw the park that I remembered from when I was a kid, but I saw a very rundown version of it where you could see that they didn't have the money to do stuff. Everything was just left the way that it was. You don't want that. Trust me.
You definitely don't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, look, it's interesting here too, because they're talking about the parades and the fireworks shows and things like that. And they're talking about how not having, Phantasmic at night, right? Phantasmic eats up a ton of people, right? Mm-hmm. Having that stuff causes capacity, not having that stuff causes capacity issues. So there's some interesting things in here, but I mean, they're bringing all this stuff back, and hopefully we're going to hear more about what the plans are for the future and stuff like that too. So, but yeah, I always find it funny because everybody thinks oh yeah, lower prices would be great, but it's no, lower prices would drive more people to the parks and make them more busy and make them, make the lines longer, make everything a lot harder. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. Coming from my background of where we only got to go a couple times when we were a kid, because it was expensive then too. I mean, it was never a cheap vacation. Mm-hmm. I would love for it to be cheaper so more people can go there. I would love that. But at the same time, it's also and there was actually an interesting article. Somebody wrote a whole article about this, about how adding new rides doesn't actually solve the problem. Right. So because people go, oh, okay, well, you add a new ride, or you add a new park, or you add a new land. And it's no, you do that thing, and it increases demand. So it increases capacity, but it also brings more people in. So it just kind of almost balances itself out. So there's no good way to really fix it.
It's the equivalent of, so if you've ever dug in wet sand, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You dig down into the sand, and then immediately, because it's wet, and it pools back in on itself, right? So it's exactly. You keep trying to dig through it, but it just keeps filling in on itself. So
I wish I could find it. There was this guy that wrote a series of articles about FastPass. Actually, he wrote about FastPass and just capacity problems in general, and how there's just like really no good solution. Like, you know, and raising prices is one of those ways, but it's also not a great solution because then, you know, it's too expensive for a lot of people. So, yeah.
There's no way to win every side of it.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way to make everybody happy. That's for sure.
Okay.
Video games.
So, yeah, let's talk video games, because I know Damon's been waiting patiently for this.
Finally.
And I appreciate that.
Gosh.
But let's talk about Disney Speedstorm that's launching this summer on Nintendo Switch. So what's your take on this, Damon?
I mean, look, I love any Mario Kart ripoff, right? Like that's okay. I'm good with that, and since it's coming to Nintendo, that's fine. The only thing that I would say is, I mean, the lands look amazing, right? Like there's all Disney characters in, you know, Disney venues, and the only thing I'm a little disappointed about, it's going to be free to play, right? And you say, oh, why are you mad that it's free to play? Well, because it's free to play, that means we're going to have some sort of microtransactions with this.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I kind of wish it was, you know, a $60 price with no micros. And listen, we don't know that it's going to have microtransactions. I'm just making an assumption because it is free to play. But man, it looks good.
It looks awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be Donald Duck. There's, you know, with his hands that can smack other cars. Like, I'm about that.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I just got to that part of the video right as you were saying that.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely about this. And again, I think it will be fun. I think there's definitely going to be, since it is free to play, there is going to be a, you know, welcome home contest for some sort of prize. There's no doubt about that.
Well, online multiplayer, right? So if we can have a private,
we're gonna have a bracket. We'll have a bracket. Yeah.
And actually, yes. So the fun thing is that this had, so they announced it for the Switch, but it's also coming to PC as well.
Oh,
and it will have crossplay. So.
Ooh.
So
we're not going to let any PC people play. They might be cheating.
Oh, dude!
No,
I'm a big PC gamer. Don't do that.
Yeah,
I feel like this is a game that's meant for like a Switch, though. Like this feels like a game I wouldn't want to play on PC.
Yeah, like you can't have us all playing with like a little controller and you have like a steering wheel from a NASCAR. And
no.
Like, no, thank you.
No, I will always play racing games with a controller. I will. Yeah. I do not use a steering wheel. I actually prefer the controller for kart racing games. So.
Dude, I'm just watching this video of like going through the Monsters Inc. factory and like Pirates of the Caribbean. Really cool, right? Dude, it looks awesome. Sorry, Trevor.
So here's the thing is that, you know, to your point about the free to play, depending on how Disney does this, it could actually be really good. So I used to play Mario Kart World Tour quite a lot. And the way that they structured the game was it was free to play, and the whole or where the microtransactions came in was you were paying for the ability to unlock different carts and gliders and stuff like that. So it was like kitting out your character was you could pay to do it. But they set it up in such a way that playing the game, you could earn those unlocks reasonably. Like it did definitely cap out where it's like if you wanted to get into like some really like min-maxing stuff, you had to pay for it. But the game still felt fair enough to play. So
see, I'm okay with the microtransactions if it's Fortnite type transactions where
it's just
what
skins.
You're telling to me it's only skins. Yeah, if you tell me it's only skins, then I'm in. But again, I hope that it's not like, you know, anything else. And I think they could still make a ton of money with skins, I feel like.
Yeah, the interesting thing about World Tour was that they had, so it was the different kart racers, and they didn't have any like substantial advantage over one another, but it was using the different karts on different tracks could net you bonuses for it all fed back into getting the unlocks and like finishing off season content and stuff like that. So if you were playing it from like, if you just wanted to race, it didn't really matter. Like you could race and be happy with it. But if you were, you know, if you wanted to get competitive with it, it had that feedback loop where it was like you wanted to get the other carts because they did help you be more competitive, but it didn't shut you out by saying you had to pay for it. Right. Like, So I think Disney could do some interesting stuff with this. I think there's definitely room for the free to play model, as long as it's not greedy. Is probably the biggest thing. Because a lot of games do that. They get overly greedy, and that's what kills them.
What character do you want to? I know Damon said Donald, but like what character?
I mean, I have to see the character list first.
Yeah, the thing is I usually figure it out after I start. Like I'll play a couple of characters and see what fits my style.
Yeah, my style is usually that Mario middle of the road character, good at everything, not the best at anything.
I would always go for the light cart. So I would, like in Mario Kart, I would play like Toad or Koopa. So I need to see who kind of lines up with that.
So I'm seeing here Mickey, Donald, Mulan, Sully, and more. So obviously there's some more characters they're going to talk about, but Sully looks kind of cool actually. But they mentioned here too, like this article I'm looking at on Polygon was mentioning that Lightning McQueen isn't there, which is kind of interesting. Like you think they'd throw that in there, but
he seems unfair in a kart racing game.
Yeah,
but seems unfair, and you also need a character in the cart.
Yeah, but he's a character himself. I mean,
be a car in a car.
Yeah, right. Well,
he has facial expressions and stuff, like
no, but think about it. You can't change carts if you're Lightning McQueen. He's only got one car.
That's fair. Yeah, that's
true. It doesn't fit the kart racing model. Vanellope Von Sweets would. I mean, she's an obvious front runner. I mean, really, the entire Sugar Rush cast from Wreck-It Ralph could.
Oh, I'd love to be King Candy, man. Like I want to be King Candy. There could be some cool things they do with this if they do a good job with it. So
like it's funny. I think
amazing.
Nickelodeon is doing something similar.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw that. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, they're doing like an All Stars.
You know which one I have? I have the Crash Bandicoot one for the Switch.
Yeah,
it's really good. It's really good. Like you got it's surprisingly really good.
Nice.
Yeah, there's same thing. Like there was the Sega All Stars one too. That we really had a good time with that. Like there's a lot of good arcade racing games out there.
Kart games are great.
Yeah. And
just in general,
and I mean, to that end, like I was saying, I saw Mario Kart 8 is getting, they're releasing something like 48 new tracks in the next couple of years. So, I mean, yeah, I'm down to do kart racing anytime. Like that's definitely my jam.
I'm definitely down.
Yep. I'm just excited about Wii Sports coming back this summer.
I'm like kind of cruising down this Twitter thread, and it just reminded me, Futurama's coming back.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, and that's Disney now too. It's coming through Hulu, so it's Disney doing it.
It's super exciting though.
Yeah,
I love Futurama. The dog episode is just teary eyed. Like man.
Oh, dude, no.
But they don't have.
I can't watch that episode.
They don't have.
No, I don't. Actually, I skip over it. I skip over it, Trevor, because I can't do it anymore. I watched it a couple times and I'm done.
Yeah, after I lost my dog, that episode hurts. I can't watch it.
That's a tough one. Yeah, but they don't have Bender signed back on yet though. So they.
They don't.
No, it's a big. John DiMaggio, he's not signed back on yet right now. So like there are people that are trying to boycott because they're going to recast Bender. So.
Dude, like if he doesn't want to come on, that's fine. Like Bender's a robot, man. Like
he just wants more money. I think he wants more money. I think that's what it is.
But what I'm saying is that it's not even a hard recast. You just go, hey, Bender got a new voice box. Boop, we're done.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's Futurama. They can do
not like it's a live action, right? Like you can recast whoever you want.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But I guess people are purists about these things, I
mean the character, like the delivery of his lines and stuff. So like somebody has to match what John did previously. So
yeah. I bet they'll make a deal at some point. This is just posturing, Yeah.
Or maybe they'll go the same way they did with Kermit.
Oh God! Don't even. Oh.
Yes, I deliberately poked at that because I knew you would not like it.
That new voice haunts me in my sleep.
Dude, just again, I don't know how he did it on Amphibia though.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Zero sense.
It has to be post-production wizardry. That's what it has to be, Damon. Like that's what it has to be because otherwise,
my Kermit lives in Amphibia. How's that? I'm gonna have a shirt made.
My Kermit lives in. That's amazing. All right. So I threw this on here because I know, Damon, you love pictures. This was actually for you. So the Smithsonian is doing a whole exhibit, and they're asking people to submit their pictures from Disneyland or Disney World, and they're making like a whole exhibit around it for the Smithsonian National Museum of American History. Now, Trevor, I don't know if you're allowed to, as a Canadian, submit your pictures, but
I don't get.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I actually, coincidentally, have a friend who works at the aviary in the Smithsonian. I'll ask him.
Oh, nice. There you go.
But what I don't understand is why do they want blurry and pictures with your thumb in it and double exposed photos? I don't get that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I noticed that. They said, blurry, any photos are okay, which to me is,
weird.
Yeah, it's weird, but maybe they're
because those can look artsy.
Like
they can look artsy sometimes when you have something wrong.
Oh, no. I'm sending in my River Country picture.
Yeah, I've got some old like early '80s photos of Disneyland that I could submit. That, they're kind of like that faded. They almost look red now, like because the paper's worn down. So, yeah, those could be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a cool idea, and I think it's neat that they're doing this because obviously this is a big part of American history, right? I mean, like it's a really interesting thing. So I thought it was kind of cool. By the way, if anybody wants to submit their pictures for this, the deadline is Valentine's Day. So if you're listening to this right now and you're not listening on the day that it came out, which, listen, you're supposed to listen. Yeah, you got to listen to us the day it comes out. So
it's been interesting because we've noticed that as, we get into these 150s and 160s episodes that while the numbers are consistent, they're consistent over a longer time frame. So like people are listening to the episode later in the week. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the new a lot of people do hybrid work now, where they go into the office some days and other days don't. So, and they're only listening to the podcast when they commute. I don't know. That was when I used to listen to podcasts when I commuted. So
I kind of lost all that when I stopped commuting.
I started Critical Role though because I just had to.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many to go through. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
All right, so one last thing on here, and look at this. I mean, you lasted with us all the way through the end.
I'm out on this though. I can't do it.
What about
Disneyland?
What about the fact that they're bringing back Soarin' over California? Huh?
Why do I care?
I don't know.
He's never been to California, so why would he care about Soarin' over California?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at this link you sent. There's not even like food in there.
Well, no, there's no menus yet, right? They're just
I truly am out on that.
I will say this, Damon. I know you just shut down Disneyland stuff because you've never been there. I think once you go, you'll know.
It's so we keep talking about it, and it was supposed to be before my son went to college. So it's supposed to be this summer, and that's just obviously it's not feasible with everything going on, right? But maybe next year. I mean, maybe the year after, because I feel like at some point, he's going to get a job, right? And it's going to be harder to do. Pretty much, he won't be doing a cross country trip, so we got to get it in. And like, I feel like it's got to be not this upcoming summer, but the summer after that. I mean, it almost has to be because it's going to take a long time to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
but
he's got to do it like right before like he commits to some sort of internship. You know what I mean? Like, all right, yeah, I can do an internship, but it's got to be this time, and then we'll have to just go when the other kids get out of school. I don't know. It's going to be tough to pull off. I really wish we did it this year, but I just don't see that happening.
It's totally fair, but I'm.
What if I just picked up and was like, yeah, I'm going to Disney. I'm taking 2 weeks and driving to Disney. Ooh.
Should do that. Just do it.
Yeah, do it. I wish if it wasn't such a pain to get over the border right now, I would do that.
So I sent you guys the link. They do have the list of the marketplaces that are going to be there, so you can at least talk at the different places.
I don't care enough. Sorry.
All right.
4:00 this morning. I'm out.
All right, David.
All right.
So marketplaces, they have avocado time, which, it's California. I'm not really an avocado fan personally, but.
Yeah, wow, there's not anything in here at all.
What do you mean? Like, just not a lot of details?
The marketplace details and schedule, but it doesn't say anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just interested at the different ones they're going to have, right? So like, but like, there's some things in here like Berry Patch, right? Like, so craft brews, so, breweries, right? A Cluckadoodle Moo, which is a funny name for something. Sliders, wings, and beer. I mean, okay. My favorite description though is delish. Enjoy delicious, sweet, and savory dishes, sure to delight. Could you be any more vague about that?
Yeah.
I mean, I do like that there's a garlic themed booth though, because I do love garlic, and I think that sounds kind of awesome.
Okay, let me put this around the other way though. Do you really want a bunch of people walking around with garlic breath?
With garlic breath?
Yeah. But
depends on if you still have to wear masks or not at this point.
Well, then do you really want to be breathing into a mask after you've had a whole bunch of garlic? Whatever? I
don't know, man. I love garlic. I don't mind the smell of garlic. I mean, garlic breath is a whole different thing though. So
yeah.
It's an artichoke booth. I mean, I don't know.
I'm just thinking on like some of the getting on Little Mermaid and like the guy in the car next to you is breathing heavy and all you can smell is garlic under the seat. So
what you're saying is next to the garlic booth, they need like a gum booth. They can't give out gum.
Spearmint gum.
Yeah, they free spearmint that you can get next door.
Yeah.
Instead of a hand sanitizer, there's a little vending machine that gives you spearmint, sponsored by, I don't know, somebody that sells those. I'm trying to think of some mint companies. Tic Tacs. There you go. Sponsored by Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
An artichoke booth. I mean, artichokes are fine. I don't know if I'd want to have anything from there.
Yeah. So bit of a side story. Sorry. We used to, or at my work, we used to have a catering company that they would, whenever we had like lunch meetings, they would cater it. And towards the end of their run with us, you could tell they were dialing it in because they just brought sandwiches, and the sandwiches always had artichokes on them. And after about a month of that, I think everybody I worked with grew a hate for artichokes. So
fair enough.
I'm not intrigued at all by the idea of a booth dedicated to that.
Fair enough. I mean, What about Nuts About Cheese, which is a great name for a booth that offers nuts and cheese?
I'm okay with half of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
The cheese part.
The cheese is,
cheese doesn't do well for you. I know.
Yeah, it sucks, right? Because I mean, this has always been my problem with food booths and stuff. Is that I want to try things, but I have to be careful of. If something's too much dairy or too much lactose, really is what it comes down to. It just undoes me for the day, which when I'm on vacation, that's the last thing I want is to be having all kinds of stomach problems when I'm trying to enjoy myself.
No, I get that. So,
that's why I'm more interested, in places that, if they offer, vegan, just because of the fact that vegan automatically means dairy free, or at the very least places that, are looking at lactose free and alternatives and stuff like that. So if they're just like, hey, this is all cheese all the time, it's like, I'm probably going to pass on the booth.
That's fair. That's a fair comment. I get it. I mean, listen, any booth that has cheese in it, I'm there. So, I'm a little different, but I'll
be there for you. Like, I'm all for it. Other people doing it, but I just can't.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, see, like I love the idea that they're bringing back Soarin' Over California. I would love to see them do that at the Epcot version. Which I think they did once or twice.
Yeah,
right. Didn't they bring it back one time for like a limited time, and then went back to the Soarin' Over Around the World?
They did. And I think, so the interesting challenge they have is, so they did the upgrades to Soarin' Around the World, right? So they did the HD footage on it, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they've done that for Soarin' Over California. Or maybe they've done some remastering of it. I don't know. But
I don't know.
I mean, it kind of, it goes back to what I was talking about, that problem of if you don't update things or if you don't stay on top of it, we kind of have those rose colored glasses of how it was, but then when you go and see it, you're like it's the same problem when they brought back Captain EO, right?
I'm go ahead. Sorry.
Because I remember like I was all excited for it, and I still love Captain EO. I thought it was a fantastic show, but when you can see like it looks grainy, it doesn't look as good as it could. It takes away from it, unfortunately. So, I mean, yeah, bring back Soarin' Over California is cool, and I'm sure doing a limited run of it is fine. But I think people will remember real quickly how dated it looks.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do see that they, in May of 2015 according to Wikipedia, in Disneyland, or I'm sorry, California Adventure, they did upgrade the screen and projection system. So, but they didn't. So
yeah, it was because I thought they did the East and West Coast ones around the same time.
They did. I think they did, if I remember correctly. Because I mean, it was what, 4 or 5? Yeah, it was like quite a while ago now, right?
7 years ago now.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But I thought I feel like they did it at, when did they do it at Epcot? Because I feel like we talked about it on the show.
Would have been pretty early on in the show.
Yeah, no, it was Soarin' Around the World was 2016, so it wouldn't have been on the show. So has it been that long already though? Wow.
When did we start the show?
2017. It's what, April 2017, I think. So
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Did you think it was earlier than that or later than that?
I thought it was earlier for some reason. I thought it was in 2016.
No, it's 5 years this year. Yeah. Yeah. Our first show was like April something 2017. Yeah. Crazy, right?
Yeah. Weird.
Anyway, we should probably go ahead and wrap this up.
Yeah. I guess, Damon's gone, so he doesn't have anything else to add. Unless he's listening. Yep. He might chime in. We'll see.
Might just be sitting there, yeah. But
yeah.
I've got nothing else. I'm good to go here. But like I said, I would love to see Soarin' Over California come back for like one of the festivals. Like do it for like Festival of the Arts or something. Do something fun like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. So to wrap this up, as usual, if you guys want to reach us, you can always find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We get listener stories, we get questions, all that kind of stuff. So feel free to reach out to us at any time, and maybe we'll get your questions on the show. If that depends on Tom, because he does the rundown. So
well, to be fair, if there's a question that you guys ask that I don't put on there, and either Trevor or Damon likes it, they'll add it in. So
yeah, that's true. It's not entirely up to Tom, but
there has to be some sort of winnowing down of the things that we get, right? So,
exactly. Yeah, that's where Tom comes in, as he helps. As disjointed as this is, he does help keep us on track.
I tried to.
Yeah. So outside of that, if you guys want to find us on social media, you can always find us on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast, and you can check out our Facebook group, Welcome Home Disney Waitlist. There's always great conversations going on in there, and people sharing memes and their own trips and everything. I should probably shout out to, was it Alice? Yeah, it was Allison that shared the wedding photos at Paddlefish.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Saw that in the group. Again, thank you for sharing your special day with us. That was really cool.
Yeah, that might be the location of the meetup too. We're looking at that.
Exactly. It looked really nice. So, stuff like that is a great reason to join the Facebook group if you haven't already, and just to see what's going on with our listeners. You can also follow us on YouTube as Welcome Home Podcast and Instagram as Welcome Home Pics. As we're getting back to the parks, with the meetup coming up in May, you'll be able to see videos of live streams that we've done, and as we're posting as we're doing stuff around the parks. As we've been talking about it, we don't know what's going to happen while we're there. I'll be there for at least 2 days, and I think we can get a lot done in a couple of days. So, make sure you guys are following us on those channels to keep track of it. If you're interested in some merchandise or just to help support the show, one of the ways you can do that is through store.welcomehomepodcast.com. pick up a T-shirt or a mug or a tumbler. Yeah, we have tumblers on there, don't we?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
But yeah, check out the store because anything you buy from there, it all goes back into helping the podcast do stuff like Tom talked about the pins that we're going to be giving away. The merchandise helps us do little projects like that. Same thing for Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/welcomehomepod and check out the different subscription levels we have. They have exclusive merchandise tied to them with an exclusive Patreon logo, which actually will be the same logo you'll see on the pins if you come to the meetup. So consider checking that out if you want some Patreon merchandise, and that will also get you access to our Discord server. And last but not least, if you found us on iTunes or Spotify, consider leaving us a review. 5 stars, we definitely would appreciate if you guys liked us that much. But even if not, it just helps more people see the podcast. So, we appreciate you sharing it out so that more people can find us.
Yeah, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, just about any podcast app out there. You can find us. Just search for Welcome Home. Look for the one that says Disney and DVC. That's us. So whatever streaming service you want to use, go and do that. Just a reminder to our listeners, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, all opinions we express on the show are our own. So please consult a DVC cast member or just regular cast member for more information about anything we talked about today. Trevor, did you have something else to say?
I was going to say, sometimes I think we have better suggestions than Disney. So,
I agree.
Definitely consult Disney, but maybe tell them that we had a good idea and they should listen to us instead.
That's exactly right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So big thank you to our sponsor, DVC Resale Market, and of course, World of DVC for being our partners for a long time. So please go check them out for your DVC needs, a variety of DVC needs that they can cover. So join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Do a huddle when we hit a chair. How she can cuddle is no man's affair. I looked around from pole